Hi everybody, we're back for the new moon reading in April. So this new moon is in Aries and it is on the 11th. So I think that's Sunday. I know it's Sunday, today's the 10th. I'm doing this reading on Saturday. So we have a new moon in Aries, and new moons are always about fresh starts, new beginnings, setting your intentions and what have you. So that's what the new moon is all about. Now, when a new moon is in Aries, you're looking at a cardinal sign. It's a fire sign. It's all about movement. It's the first sign of the zodiac, so it's leadership. The negative piece of that, it is the warrior. It's the warrior. But the positive side of that is assertiveness. So if we're using the warrior energy to its positive side, we're using assertiveness rather than aggression. And so this new moon on April 11th, 2021 it's really about speaking your truth, your authentic self. It will focus on relationships, obviously, because those are going to be the people closest to us. So if you're in Aries, you'll probably really feel this energy. If you have, and of course, everyone's going to feel this energy because it is Aries and it is spring. So, spring is also about new beginnings, the blossoming of new things and all of that. So yeah, this new moon is asking us to speak our authentic truth. It's going to be urging us to do that. And it's going to be focusing on relationships. So if your partner starts speaking their truth to you and you don't like what you're hearing, try to step back and not judge it, but try to come at it from a place of compassion so that you can actually hear what it is that they're saying and maybe speak your truth as well so that you guys can come to an agreement if you don't like what they're saying. And then if because a lot of times we hear something for the first time and we're apt to get defensive. And that doesn't usually work well for any of us. So yeah, speak your truth. Now, the last year that we've been doing this, we have been consistently being told a few things, like over and over and over again. We've been asked consistently to step out of fear and step into logic and tap into our higher selves, our God, our guides, our higher selves, right? We've been told to listen. We've been told to go back to being logical. We've been told to straighten out our finances. That's been a pretty consistent message. But stepping out of fear, stepping into logic, and being leaders in our own life. Being the leaders in our own life. So these have been consistent messages. We've also been consistently told that there's a blessed change on the way. And we've been going through some chaos to create some change, right? But a couple of readings back, if you all remember, we were encouraged to be the change. Do you remember that? Maybe 3 readings back or something like that. Might have been for the solstice. I can't remember. Not the solstice, but the spring equinox. I can't remember, but I do remember the message very clearly that, we've been told to step up and be leaders in our lives. And we have been encouraged to step out of fear and use logic. And then we were encouraged to be the positive change, to create the positive change. Now, honestly, what has been going on this past year? If we take a look around, what we see is there hasn't been a whole lot of people truly being full leaders in their own life because there's been a lot of doing what you're told. Doing what you're told. And we were all consistently asked to step into our intuition, to tap into God, step into our intuition, feel our way through things, use logic, don't follow the masses, step out of fear and be leaders in our own life. And we've been asked to create positive change. And now we're being asked to use our authentic voices, to be true to ourselves, and speak our truth. But remember, when we were being told to create the change, we were being told to create that change positively. So step forward as a leader in our lives and create the change in a positive manner with love and compassion, right? Because everything we do, if we do it with love and compassion, that's kind of what we want. We don't want to be tipped to the negative side and running around and, pardon my language, but acting like assholes. We don't want to be the assholes. We want to be able to do these things with love and compassion and create positive change. So, yeah, with all of those things reiterated, let's pull our first card, okay? So the first card off the top is the Page of Pentacles. All right, so Pentacles are always about the assets, and we've talked about this a lot. Assets really are about what's important to us, what we deem important. So, our money, our finances, our home, our family, our pets, probably your vehicle. All of these things that are of importance are our assets, those things in our life that are assets to us. So this is about the page. This is the Page of Pentacles. So what we're being shown here is we have what it takes. We have everything that it takes. See how he's standing there? He's got all these tools around him. He's holding the pentacle. If you look, trying to get it up there closer. There's all these things. We have what it takes. We have what it takes to create positive change. We have what it takes to tap in and listen to our higher selves, to talk to God. Every day, I ask God, twice a day actually, because I have my morning prayer and my morning healing that I do, my morning routine, and then I do it again at night before I go to bed. I have these routines, and then of course I talk to God all day long. But I always ask God, at least twice a day, to help me to see clearly, and to help me to know clearly, and to help me to feel clearly. So I'm not always of the popular opinion, and that's okay. I don't want to be. I don't need to be. I'm not always of the popular opinion because the first thing I do is I feel. So I'll have a feeling about something. And with that feeling, I usually will go to God and talk to God about it and ask God. And then I'm generally given signs. Remember how we've talked about signs and synchronicities? So the signs and the synchronicities are always right there, but we have to look for them and acknowledge them. We're always getting our answers. Validation. Then once I've gotten some validation, I'll dig into what it is that I'm not feeling or am feeling. So if I have a feeling that something is really right and, and this is the thing that I want to do, I will talk to God about it. And then I'll delve into, once I see all my signs and synchronicities, I'll delve into finding the information that will help me push forward in that, depending on what it is. I mean, obviously, if it's me talking to a loved one, I don't need to find information there. But if it's me wanting to start a business, I might want to find out what the best way to go about doing that is. Or, so if it's a good thing, I ask for help. And if it's, I've got this feeling that this is not so great right now, I talk to God and I ask for help. I tap in and I listen. And then I'm given those signs. And then I do some delving in, but I don't delve into just one side of things. I delve into both sides of things. And then I try to discern. I feel. Go back to that feeling and discern what feels right. So that's really what we've been asked to do all year. That's what we've been asked to do. We have what it takes. We have what it takes to tap back into our intuition so that we can make the best choices for us, our family, our loved ones, the best decisions for us, our families, our loved ones, to make the most conscious, logical decision with us, our families, our assets. We have what it takes. We need to be logical. We need to really be thinking about things, okay? We really need to be tapping in, listening, and thinking about things, following those feelings and being very discerning. be very discerning right now. It's time. We've tinkered a lot, but it's time for us to really delve in and pay attention and take care of what's needed. And do that in a way that isn't being told to you by the masses. Don't take care of yourself and your loved ones and your assets and what's important to you by what everybody else is doing. Really get in there. You've got what it takes to figure it out for what's best for you. Don't play follow the leader. Be the leader. Be the leader. Okay. So, that said, we know, pay attention. Really do what's best for you. Find your information for you and your loved ones, your home and your assets, in ways that aren't following the masses or following the leader. We've been asked to be the leader. So we need to tap in. We need to listen. We need to ask for guidance. We need to pay attention to those signs. We need to delve in on both sides of things to see what we're feeling and discern what feels best to us. And we've got to trust. We've got to trust our intuition. The more we follow our intuition to make decisions for us in our own lives, the more we validate that, the more it's going to validate us. I've followed my intuition my whole life, and you know what? Those times when I haven't, it turned out to be a mess. I'm not kidding you. Like, anytime I haven't followed that intuition, it's been a mess. It's been a mess, and I've kicked myself and said, I know better than this. Why don't I why do I always bring myself back to a place of not listening when I already know that when I don't listen, things just turn into chaos for myself? But I think it's a good reminder. Every now and again, I don't pay attention so that I get to witness and see the chaos, so that brings me back to remembering how important it is really for me to listen to my intuition. We're all here guided. We come here, we live such guided lives, and most people don't even realize that when you tap into that guided life, you'll find things kind of flow a little smoother, It's when we resist it. It's the resistance that creates problems. So, we come here, we're divine beings. We come from God. Do you think God just throws us down here and says, okay, there you go, you're on your own? No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. We have angels and guides and God helping us every single day. But we have to ask and we have to listen. All right, with that being said, let's pull the second card, okay? The Chariot. The Chariot. I think we might have gotten that last time too. So we are moving forward. We're in forward motion. The Chariot's always about moving forward. So we've been pretty guarded, right? We have been. We've been all guarded up. We've been all guarded, but yet we're still vulnerable. We're still vulnerable. So all of this guarding doesn't help us a bit. Doesn't help us, right? I mean, look at us. Our face is still wide open. So let's move forward without fear. We've been asked that consistently. Let's move forward without fear. Fear is a low vibrating energy. It keeps us down. It keeps us out of flow. It keeps us out of alignment. And it actually keeps us disconnected. It keeps us disconnected from those higher energies, those higher powers that would like to lead us in a more positive way if we would open up to that and listen. But when we're all guarded and we're vibrating really low with fear, that doesn't do us any good. It doesn't do us a bit of good. So let's move forward less guarded. Let's take off the armor, right? Take off the armor, be more open. This past year, I'm just going to say it. This moon is all about speaking our truth. I'm just going to speak my truth. This past year, people have been more worried about dying than living. That is a low vibration. You know what? None of us get out of here alive. None of us do. So we can spend every single day worrying about dying, or we can live. We can live. We can be the leaders in our own life. We can make decisions according to what's best for us. We cannot allow ourselves to be bullied by the masses or by people we're taught to think more highly of than ourselves, why would we think that people that we don't even know are more important, more capable of knowing what is best for us than us? That is not being a leader in our life. That's being a follower. That's following someone who doesn't give a shit about you, doesn't know you, doesn't care. You know? So let's take off the armor and get back in touch. We have to get in touch. We have to feel our way through this shit. We do. We really do. We have to feel our way. What feels right to us? And you know what? What feels right to you, what feels right to me may be different, but we don't have to judge each other about that. And we don't have to be mad at each other about that, and we don't have to hate each other, because what feels right to you and what feels right to me are different. So let's take off the armor and move forward and create change in positive ways. We are moving forward. We'll get there a lot faster if we move forward out of, and we trust rather than trying to move forward in fear. Okay? The message has been consistent. Get out of fear. We have to get out of fear so we can really roll forward and start to receive those blessings, because they're on their way. We've been told that. We've been told that. But maybe we're not going to see them until we start creating positive change in this forward motion. Okay? All right. I've said right along during this whole thing, right from the start, I've said we have two choices right now. We can be the dark or we can be the light. Choose carefully. So if we're choosing darkness and fear and despair and we're afraid to live and we're scared of dying, those aren't light vibrations. Those aren't light energies. That's not helpful to any of us. That keeps us stuck, keeps us set back, doesn't allow those blessings to come in. We're in the Aquarian age, and the Aquarian age is the most healing age in the zodiac. But, in order to heal things, we have to see it. We have to see it, acknowledge it, touch it, talk about it, touch it, acknowledge it in order for us to be able to heal it. So we're seeing a lot of things right now. We're seeing a lot of things that need healing. But until we acknowledge it, until we see it fully and acknowledge it's there and acknowledge it for what it is and touch it, we're not going to be able to heal it. And what's that going to do? That's going to keep us in it that much longer. So let's heal. It's the Aquarian age. It's the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening. We've all heard about it. We've all been talking about it. But you know what? The Great Awakening isn't just about waking up spiritually. It's about waking up consciously. It's about a conscious wake up as well. And, that is when we start discerning for ourselves what's best for ourselves. When we think critically. When we think outside of the box. When we start really discerning what's best for us and really thinking about what is best for us. Might not be 1 million rolls of toilet paper. It might. I always say that because I was just really surprised how everybody went for the toilet paper. During a breakout where a virus that I don't remember them saying diarrhea came with it at any point, but boy, did people grab the toilet paper. But, we've got to discern what we can do that's best for us. And, don't play follow the leader and go after the toilet paper. Maybe there's something that our families could have benefited more from. Maybe we had enough toilet paper. All right, so we're going to pull card number 3 and see what this is all about. Then we're going to get our positive affirmation from the Dolphin Mermaid deck. Now remember that, we are in a 5-year and 5 years of chaos. 5 years are change, 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 change. Big change, hard change. Change that might not, change that might come in ways that really don't feel good. But we can choose to be part of the chaos, so we can take that knowledge and try to decipher what to do with that for us. So we're in a 5-year, it's chaos. We're in the beginning of the Aquarian age, which means looking at things to bring it up and heal it. Great changes, you know what I mean? And we've been asked consistently to do this positively, to do it in a positive way for us and our families, something that can be positive. If we're positive, that radiates outwards, and that comes back to us. So, all right, I feel like one more shuffle. I'm going to grab the card off the top. Let's see what we've got. Page of Wands. See that? Pretty, right? So, let's look really close. So we're looking at this card, and we see this life in the wands. You look at the wands, there is life there. Where there's 2 wands right there for us to look at, right? 2 is all about balance. But if you look a little closer, he's using them as a set of stilts, and he's going across ice. Yeah, we're skating on thin ice right now. We are. There's a lot going on in the world. I like to focus on what's going on with us, regardless of what's going on in the world. And I'm going to say that again. We really need to keep our vibrations high. Stay positive. Don't live in fear. Decipher for ourselves what's best for us personally. Not judge other people. Not be mean to other people. And try to live our best life, right? But we really are affected by what's going on in the world around us. We are. So, and sometimes we have to step up and be a leader somehow. Now, you can see we're skating on thin ice here, and we really are. We really are. I mean, our government's coming after our guns. What did Hitler say? The best way to conquer a nation is to divide it and disarm it. We're skating on thin ice in a lot of ways. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now where it's time for us to really rise, I think. That's my truth. It's time for us to rise. If we want a better world for our children, we really have to, we have to be that change. We have sat around and we've waited for a bunch of crooked politicians to fix problems for years. We've listened to these people lie to us, get voted in, do exactly what they say they're not going to do, and not do what they said they are, and we've stood for it. And we're getting to a place where, it's time for us to really be the leaders in our lives and stop being disconnected from one another. Why are we putting our faith in people telling us to dislike each other? Why are we putting our faith there? Spiritualists and Christians can't be friends. I think you'd find most spiritualists believe in Christ, but that's a way to divide people, right? Democrats and Republicans can't get along, and liberals can't get along. I think you'd find at the end of the day, we're all wanting a better world, a better life for our children. There's all these things to divide us, and now there's the people who are wearing the masks and people who don't wear the masks. Let's hate each other over masks. Are you kidding me? Yeah, we're skating on thin ice here. There's life in our journey. You see that? There's life in our journey. We really need to be the positive pieces of that, though. And it's time for us to be positive. There's been a lot of negativity over the last year, and that's part of the change. Bring up the negativity, look at it, face it, and then we can heal it. Then we can heal it. But it's time for us to start healing it. So yeah, I often say, even if I'm mad, so mad at somebody, or you know, so disgusted with something, I send love. I send love because I think it's good for me. It is. It's good for me. It lifts my vibration. And hopefully it's good for them too. You know, so then it's a win-win. But regardless, it's good for me. It's good it's good for me to send love. And you know, there's been a lot of anger. So let's look at what's making us angry, or if we are even angry. You know, that's been a message this year. Like, let's get into our feelings and see what we're really feeling. Because we may be catching what the masses are feeling. And the masses may be catching what they're perpetuating on the radio and the TV. I've always said that that is just designed to keep us down. Educate, don't inundate, because you know what? That inundation is designed to keep us it's just in fear. Fear is not a happy, healthy vibration. It's not. So let's step into how we feel. I mean, I've really been taking these readings seriously. I really think about what that means to me and how I can do it. And you know, these readings have been asking us consistently for a year. It's like the universe is just on screech. And now it's like, buckle up. You know, here we are. It's time to make some changes. So, and speaking our truth, I know a lot of people, you know, haven't said, they don't speak their truth because they're afraid they'll be attacked for it. And that's just really sad. That's really sad. We shouldn't attack people for speaking their truth. All right. Let's see what our positive affirmation is today, okay? Set your sights higher. Increase your standards and expect more of yourself. Don't settle. So yeah, let's set our sights higher. Expect more of ourselves. So every time we start to feel small and we don't dare to say our truth, set our sights higher. Expect more of ourselves. Expect more of ourselves. Don't settle. Don't settle. You know, we have been settling for a lot of things. People have been saying, oh, well, I do this because, you know, I'm expected to. Really? Are we adults here? Are we adults? I mean, I know someone who just had a conversation, and this person was really upset because the future looked so grim for them, they thought, because their parents wanted them to be a nurse or something, and they didn't want to be a nurse. But they were going to go ahead and be a nurse because that was the expectation. No, we need to be true to ourselves. We need to set our sights higher, have better expectations for ourselves, our expectations for ourselves, not what other people expect from us, but our expectations for ourselves. It's time for us to be leaders. It's time for us to really step it up, be the leaders in our lives, do the things that feel good to us. Tap in, listen, really go with our feelings, not what we're being told we should feel, not what the media is trying to make us feel, not what the neighborhood might be feeling, but really tap into what we are feeling. Be authentic, be true to ourselves, set ourselves higher, you know, set our goals higher for ourselves. Let's not be skating on thin ice. Let's start doing things in a way that make positive change so that the journey isn't so sketchy. Let's come up with some solutions. I've come up with some solutions in my life. I've come up with some ideas. Let's all do that. Let's really discern. And it's the new moon and it's spring. So it's really a good time to set these intentions. Let's not be doing this. There's life in our journey, but we can make that journey a little easier, I think. For one thing, we don't have to be walking on the stilts. And if you look, we could have gone across that. We could have circled right around the back and not had to go across the ice on stilts. You guys see that message there? We're taking the hard way, mostly because we're being told to. We're not being leaders in our own lives. All right. There is forward motion. Let's step out of fear and get the armor off. Move forward positively, okay? We're going to be moving forward positively. And then remember, we really do have what it takes, but we haven't been using our tools. We've kind of given up our power. So we have what it takes to make the right decisions in our lives to have the best outcome for us and our families, okay? All right. And then, yeah, we're going to set our sights higher. We're going to expect more of ourselves in a positive way. Not in a way that we beat ourselves up like, oh, I should be better. No, we're just going to get really excited about it. And we're going to be the leaders in our lives. We're going to set our goals and our sights high. And we're going to expect good things. And we're going to make that happen. All right, you guys, speak your truth. Be authentic. Watch for aggression with this Aries energy. Set your intentions for a beautiful year. It's spring. Energy is shifting. Good things are to come, but we have to be a part of that. We can't just sit back and wait for good things to come. We need to really move to create that for ourselves. And then that goes outward and it comes back to us. So everybody have a blessed, blessed new moon. And I will see you again soon for the full moon. All right, take care.